Hi, I'm Aaron Newman. I'm the chair of the Department of Psychology and Neuroscience, and I'm here with Leanne Stevens, who is our undergraduate program coordinator. And we just wanted to do a short video right before classes start to talk about what you can expect coming back to campus and back to Dell, and how things are going to look kind of over the first month and probably changing as we go on. So Leanne, we've had sort of a lot of ups and downs. We thought we were going to be fully in person coming back in September, and now we find out we're not.
Yeah.
So what can students expect coming in, especially like first and second year classes?
Yeah, so if you're in first year, coming into first year, you've probably received an email already from the coordinators of that program and heard that they will be offering things online, at least until Nova Scotia goes into phase 5. The key piece here, no matter what year you're in, especially, is to be monitoring your Dalhousie email account, because most instructors will be using that to communicate with students. So you may have received emails from your instructors letting you know what the plan is for those first couple of weeks. So we do know intro, psych will be online for the first couple of weeks or couple of classes, as well as our research methods class at the 2000 level. Otherwise, most of our classes will continue to be offered as they are in the course or the academic timetable.
Yeah, right. So be sure to check that timetable. And if your class is online on the timetable, then obviously it's going to be online. If it has a room and you haven't heard from your prof, then go to that room for the first day classes, is basically the advice. And you may still hear from your prof. Some of us, like me, haven't yet sent out emails to the class, but we will. So, there will be some information still coming. And then in terms of, what are classroom instruction going to look like?
Yeah, so for the most part, when we go back, it will be fairly similar to our pre-COVID days in terms of the organization in the classroom. But of course, as many of you have heard from the Dalhousie announcements, masks will be mandatory, at least for the month of September. So make sure you bringing masks with you. The hope is that we may have some extras on hand if you forget them on a day, but we're going to be encouraging all students to be wearing their masks while in class, but we won't be having any social distancing in the classes. So you'll be sitting in class as usual, but everyone will be wearing masks.
Yeah, right. And Dalhousie facilities have gone through and done an audit of the ventilation in all the classrooms and assured us that ventilation is really good. In some cases, they've upped it. They've increased the amount of fresh air that's sort of in the mix going through classrooms. So they assure us that the air is good and should be good to sort of keep things clean and flowing as long as people are wearing those masks. And definitely the masks are required. That's not an option. They're required by law, by Nova Scotia, and by Dal policy. So be sure you bring them, and like Leanne said, we will have masks on hand in the classrooms if somebody does forget. And also vaccination is really important. As you've probably heard, Dalhousie is going to require all students, faculty, and staff to be fully vaccinated, although there's sort of a grace period to get that sorted, but that's really important. And I think it's really important to understand too, like why we're doing this sort of online in September, even though in principle, like a lot of people are vaccinated, masks are required, and that sort of thing. And it's important to understand that, especially those of us who are faculty members have a lot of different life circumstances, right? So Leanne, your kids are young, right?
Yep.
And
not vaccinated, unable to be,
Yeah, exactly. And so obviously Leanne doesn't want to bring home coronavirus and get her kids infected, even if she and her husband are fully vaccinated. Not to mention, like, thinking about the chaos that would ensue, right, if your kids can't go to daycare.
Exactly.
Then what are you going to do? You're going to have to be at home with them.
Exactly.
Your husband is, right, and that, the ripple effects of that. Other faculty may be caring for, elderly adults, their parents or something like that, or have people who are immunocompromised at home. So there's a lot of things you don't see behind the scenes with profs that create these concerns, and that's why we're really sort of easing back in. Even though I think a lot of us really want to be back in person, and we really miss that contact with people and the sort of natural flow of conversation that goes, and we will get back there. But the reality is, the the sort of time course of the pandemic and waves and that sort of thing doesn't necessarily line up with the precise date that the school year starts. And that's just the way it is.
So something we wanted to highlight as well, for those of you who do have some of your classes online, at least for the first couple of weeks, you may end up with classes that are in person and then mixed in with classes that are online. And if you're on campus, you might be looking for somewhere to go to actually listen in to those synchronous online classes or the recorded lectures that you might be listening to as part of the class. And so we're here in the Psych department on the 4th floor in the Student Study Center, and we just wanted to highlight this as a great space to be able to come and listen to your lectures and work on your courses in between classes, so that you're not having to travel back to your room or back to your apartment and then coming back again for your in-person classes. So this is a great one. There's lots of others on campus as well. I think the Faculty of Science may be highlighting some of those, but we wanted to specifically point this one out for our students.
Yeah, and it's nice. You can probably see behind us. It's very spacious. Tables are really spread out, so you have that social distancing. Really nice windows. Ventilation is really good to the point where you might actually hear in the background of this video some roaring, and that's the ventilation, keeping our air fresh and safe. And don't forget as well, there's the McCain Study Center in the Life Sciences Center as well. Hopefully for a while, the weather's going to be nice. You can be outside. So a lot of options, but it's going to be great to be back on campus and see people again and have that more of a real university feel.
Absolutely, we are really excited, and I'll also mention too, talking about the interaction between faculty and students. We know that students are also experiencing all kinds of things as they come back to campus and start their classes up this year, and so kind of the message I think that we're wanting to instill, I guess, is just to be kind and understanding to everyone. Compassion is going to get us a really long way, I think, on both sides, and so faculty are certainly aware of a lot of the different situations that students are in, and we really encourage you to chat with your instructors and professors if any concerns do come up, or if you need to miss time, that kind of thing. So your instructor should be sending out some of that information in the syllabus or as your Brightspace course space opens, but if you have any questions, you can always reach out to them through email.
Yeah, that's right. And also, if you're looking for advising or meeting with profs, a lot of that will still be online. Again, partly just for the safety factor. Offices are often small, kind of cramped, and as well, it's just more accessible, right? If you don't have to walk down to the LSC and find a particular office, it's just easier, or for whatever reason you can't get to campus, especially early on in the season. You can still have those meetings by Teams. So we see that as an advantage, and we're probably going to continue that throughout the year and maybe beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely good on those days that it's raining or storming. You don't have to trek across campus to make it to our office for a 15-minute meeting. So hopefully that'll make things a little bit more pleasant for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all we had to say. So thanks for tuning in, and again, we're psyched to be back, and we're looking forward to seeing you somewhat virtually and somewhat in person. Take care and stay safe.
Thanks, folks. See you later.